Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayaudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 17, verse 36. Nunam Janer Ihitam Ishwaranam Asmad Vidhes Tadguna Sarga Mayaya Nagyaite Mohita Chitta Vartamabhis Tebhyo Namo Vira Yashasas Karebhyaha. Nunam, surely. Janehe, by the people in general. Ihitam, activities. Ishwaranam, of the controllers. Asmat Vidhe, like me. Tat, of the personality of Godhead. Guna, of the modes of material nature. Sarga, which brings forth creation. Mayaya, by your energy. Na, never. Gyate, are understood. Mohita, bewildered. Chitta, whose minds. Vartamabhi, ve tebhyaha, onto them. Namaha, obeisances. Veera yasha karebhya, who bring renown to heroes themselves. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. My dear Lord, I am also the creation of one of your energies, composed of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, I am bewildered by your activities. Even the activities of your devotees cannot be understood, and what to speak of your pastime. Thus, everything appears to us to be contradictory and wonderful. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His various forms and incarnations are always uncommon and wonderful. It is not possible for a tiny human being to estimate the purpose and plans of such activities. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has said that unless the Lord's activities are accepted as inconceivable, they cannot be explained. The Lord is eternally existing as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in Golok Vrindavan. He has also simultaneously expanded himself in innumerable forms, beginning with Lord Rama, Lord Narasimha, Lord Varaha, and all the incarnations coming directly from Sankarshan. Sankarshan is the expansion of Baldev, and Baldev is the first manifestation of Krishna. Therefore, all these incarnations are known as Kala. The word Ishwaranam refers to all the personalities of Godhead. As stated in Brahma Samhita 5.39, Ramadimurtishu Kala Niyamena Tishthan. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that all the incarnations are partial expansions or Kala of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not take the plural number of the word Ishwaranam to mean that there are many Godheads. The fact is that God is one, but He exists eternally and expands Himself in innumerable forms and acts in various ways. Sometimes the common man is bewildered by all this and considers such activities contradictory. But they are not contradictory. There is a great plan behind all the Lord's activities. For our understanding, it is sometimes said that Lord is situated in the heart of the thief as well as in the heart of the householder, and that the super soul in the heart of the thief dictates, go and steal things from that particular house. And at the same time, the Lord tells the householder, now be careful of thieves and burglars. These instructions to different persons appear contradictory, yet we should know that the super soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has some plan, and we should not consider such activities contradictory. The best course is to surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead wholeheartedly, and being protected by Him, remain peaceful. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 4th Canto, 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Maharaj Prithu becomes angry at the earth. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjanjalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamanyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinu Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaurvani Pacharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. My dear Lord, I am also the creation of one of your energies, composed of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, I am bewildered by your activities. Even the activities of your devotees cannot be understood, and what to speak of your pastimes, thus everything appears to be contradictory and wonderful. So just to reiterate, who is speaking to who here? Who is speaking to who?
The Prithvi.
Mother Earth is Prithu Maharaj.
Mother Earth is speaking to Maharaj Prithu. Why is she speaking like this?
Because he wants to kill her.
Yes. She took the form of the cow.
Okay. Because
The earth is in surrender mode.
correct. Yeah, she wants to pacify King Prithu's anger because she wants to put forth her quest and her answers and her explanation to Maharaj Prithu's questions. Now I'm going to ask a really hard question. Okay, I don't know if I also remember the answer. What were the 5 questions that Vidur asked Maitreya Rishi? What were the 5 questions that Vidur asked Maitreya Rishi that we are hearing about all these pastimes?
Why did Mother Earth take the shape of the cow?
Cow, very nice.
What happened after
Another one
the,
is what happened to
And why did
what
Maharaj
happened to the
Prithu
pot?
yes.
intended to
Why
kill
did
her? What happened
Indra
to?
steal the horse? Why did Indra
Yeah,
steal the horse?
the 100th horse of Ashwamedha
Indra
Yagya.
horse, yeah.
Okay, and how did
Indra.
Prithu Maharaj level the hills on the surface of the earth?
Surface
What were
of
the other 2 questions? My God. What were other 2 questions? So the one of the Kumaras, Sanat Kumar, was it
Sanat
Sanat Kumar? How did Maharaj Prithu implement the teachings of Sanat Kumar after he heard it from him? And I think the other thing is that who became the calf when Maharaj Prithu was milking the cow? Who took the shape of the calf and what was the pot? Remember?
yes, what was it?
Okay, together we stand. So we can do something together here. Thank you. Okay, so so this is the answer to first question, or not yet, because the question complete was why did she take the form of the cow? Yeah, so we got the answer why she took the form of a cow, Mother Earth. So she's continuing to clear her position and pray to King Prithu. Then I'm also one of your energies. And your energy, which energy? Spiritual energy or material energy? She's saying, I'm also a creation of one of your energy. Which energy? Spiritual or material?
Material.
How do you know? How do you know it is material and not spiritual?
It is in
Bhagavad Gita 8.
Bhagavad Gita.
Most of material.
Very nice. And then I think Reena Mataji was saying what Bhagavad Gita verse Bhumi Apalone or Vayur. Manmano Buddhi Devata. Okay, very nice. Thank you. Also here, the next very line, composed of the 3 modes of material nature. You see, Srimad Bhagavatam is so perfectly composed because what is preceding sentence, succeeding sentence, and then before the verses after, everything is so related. It is not a layman's talk. Sometimes we talk and there is no connection, talking, and then like, why was I talking like that? The question, what was the thing? We get lost. Yes or no? Do you get that in your life sometimes? You're talking, and then you lose the connection talking.
Yes,
Aimless wandering. That is called aimless wandering.
Well, Dr. Parik, if you have an outpatient clinic, you get people who say, okay, your knee's hurting. Yeah, my knee's hurting. 1 week ago, I went to buy the milk. And when I was coming back, I saw my friend. I started talking to my friend. And then I was coming home. And then I sat down on the chair and I had my regular day of drinking tea, reading newspaper. Then I was going around, but in the evening, the knee was hurting and I slept okay. And I went to take the milk again next morning. You see, do you get answers like this?
No, that's aimless wondering.
But do you get answers like this when you ask a patient?
Certainly, always. Always.
We get answers like this all the time. And interestingly, because we get answers like this, I also give answers like this when I go to a doctor for me. Because you hear it so much. Anyway, so Srimad Bhagavatam is perfect. So composed of 3 modes of material nature. That's why we know that she is an energy, she's a part of the material energy, because she's saying composed of 3 modes of material nature. Material. Here the word is there. Okay. So she's saying, consequently, because I am also in one of the material, because I'm also one of the energies in 3 modes of material nature, I am bewildered by your activities. And what to say of your activities? The activities of your devotees cannot be understood also. Can you name some devotees from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita, from scriptures, where we can't understand the activity, why they're acting like this? Can you name at least one devotee like that? One devotee from Vaishnava literature. Can you name?
We can say Narada himself. Sage Narada.
Arjun, because he knows. Arjun, because
I think
How
the
Arjun?
best example should be Sage Narada.
How Narada Vasudevan Prabhu?
Because you wouldn't know what he does exactly, because sometimes he goes and talks to the opponent in such a way that he's trying to support them. But actually he's taking the thread out of that. There are several instances of Narada interfering, apparently helping the other party, but actually he's trying to solve it himself. But you wouldn't know what he's...
So Narada is one example.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing ecstatic Samkirtanas, and then he asked, is there something wrong? And Haridas Thakur, though his son was dead, he says nothing is wrong.
Srivas Thakur. Okay, very nice. Okay, very nice. How can you say nothing is wrong when your child has died? Very nice. And somebody wrote to me in the chat, Jadu Bharat. Very nice. That is also a good example. Who else can you think of? We can't understand the activity. Devotee of Krishna. Can you understand the activity of Sanatan Goswami? Prahlad Maharaj. My son is saying Prahlad Maharaj with his father. When his father was getting killed and he was garlanding the killer. Will you garland the killer of your father? You can't understand. Okay, very nice. And Sanatan Goswami bribing, is giving bribe to the jailer so that he can escape. You can't understand. How can you bribe? You're supposed to be a Vaishnava. How can you bribe? So, what else? One more example. We can't understand the activity. Somebody said Arjun. Reena Mataji, how are you saying Arjun?
Mataji, because he was the Shuddha Bhakta, but he asked so many questions from Krishna.
Okay, very nice. So she's a very nice devotee. So yes, because he's saying he's with Krishna, how can he be bewildered? He's saying, but how come you're saying you're bigger than sun god, older than sun god, right? Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham abhyayam. How are you saying that you told this sun god? You're standing here with me. We are a couple of 100 years old, and sun god is millions of years old. Okay, we can take that. Can't understand. Anyone else? One more example of a devotee which activity cannot be understood. How are they acting like this? This is a very nice example, though. Nice. Prahlad Maharaj, yeah, my son said that too. I actually took that. Anyone else from the Shastras?
No.
Yes.
I can tell you the example where Narada does a trick like that. So in the case of Hiranyaksha, Narada tells Hiranyaksha, look, your Krishna or Narayana has gone inside the sea to save Mother Earth. Are you keeping quiet on that? And it is that tempts Hiranyaksha to go down and fight with Narayana. And ultimately, we know the whole story, how Krishna comes out with the earth on his in the form of a bow.
That's good. That's
Yes.
No, it is teeth.
Yes, very nice.
So
Huh? Suicide and milk? No, I don't understand. My children are saying Krishna in Damodar Leela, the milk of Padmagandhi cow, the milk of Padmagandhi cow, which was committing suicide. You can't understand the activity that why is the cow, why is the milk committing suicide? Good, you're thinking. Balram, we can't understand the activities of Lord Balram. His first expansion of Krishna. We cannot understand that, Mahabharata is going on, he's needed, but he goes for pilgrimage. Or he's Avaduta. He goes and he wants to cut the Yamuna in two halves. If somebody doesn't obey your order, do you go and cut them in two halves?
Balaram changed the course, yes.
Can't understand. Anyway, so if we can't understand, thank you so much for participation. So if we can't understand the example or the activities of devotees of Krishna, to understand Krishna is even more difficult. Very, very difficult. So over here, she's praying and she's actually reminding Krishna. There is a prayer in Isopnishad also, last verse of Isopnishad. Also, we can relate to this, in which the Brahma Jyoti is called as, I'm forgetting the name, but the verdict of the prayer is that Krishna, when I forget you during my last breath, if I forget you because of the intolerable pain of leaving the body, then you please remember what all things I have done for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that over here, she's reminding Krishna, you saved me. Krishna, when in the form of Varadev, Krishna, I am your energy. Krishna, I always came to you for protection. Krishna, I am not able to understand your activity because you saved me and now you yourself are standing to kill me. But Prabhupada is writing so nicely that it is not possible for a common person to understand any activity of Krishna. The final verdict is don't try. The best course is to surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead wholeheartedly, and being protected by him, remain peaceful. Don't get agitated that I'm not understanding Krishna. I'm not understanding. Well, Krishna, we will understand Krishna to the extent that we have developed or taken our steps towards him and gotten rid of the anarthas, the disturbances in the heart, which take us to Krishna. Okay. So guys, any questions, reflections, realizations, or I want to go to Damodar Leela. Let me check the chat. Brahma stealing the cows and cowherd boys. So okay, Brahma stealing the cows and cowherd boys. In one way, Brahma Vimoha Leela, we can, okay, how is it a devotional service? Oh, because he wanted to glorify Krishna? Are you taking in that sense, Prabhu? You're saying in that sense that he stole the cows and cowherd boys because he wanted to glorify Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Could be. Yes? Are you staying in that consciousness?
No, Mataji, I'm saying that it is also not understandable because he is the secondary creator. He must know that Krishna is God.
Correct. The material, the devotees who are touched by the material nature can forget. Like Indra forgets so many times in Bhagavatam. Poor Indra, he gets so much repercussions so many times in Srimad Bhagavatam. But the devotees who are never touched by material nature never forget. Like Mother Yashoda can never forget that Krishna is her son and she has to give protection. Okay, can we go to this pastime?
Sure.
Yes.
Mataji, I have
yes,
one thing to contribute here. The Rasalila of the Bhagavan, Krishna, Rasalila, which is
Krishna, nothing can be understood.
Yeah,
okay.
no, apparently it is amorous and romantic, but no one has understood the real thing behind it. Is it mundane like what we have in earth, the romantic nature? It is not so. Krishna's association with Gopi in the Rasa Leela, in the dances, and all that. It is a Leela. It is the yoga, I should say, because the embodied soul is trying to reach him, and Krishna helps, and that process is Rasa Leela, is it not?
Nice. Yes.
Which is
Thank you.
inconceivable.
Mhm. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rasa Leela can only be understood by a very pure devotee who is at least on the Bhava Bhakti platform. Cannot be understood by anybody
Yeah,
who's on
it's
the lower
inconceivable.
platform. Okay, so let's start on that note. 10th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, verse number 4. Anta pravishya gangayam amboja vanarajini chikridatur yuvati bhi gajav iha karenu bhi. Translation. Within the waters of the Mandakini Ganges, which were crowded with gardens of lotus flowers, the two sons of Kuver would enjoy young girls, just like two male elephants enjoying in the water with female elephants. Purport. People generally go to Ganges to be purified of the effects of sinful life, but here is an example of how foolish persons enter the Ganges to become involved in sinful life. It is not that everyone becomes purified by entering the Ganges. Everything, spiritual and material, depends on one's material condition. Okay, I'll read one more verse. Verse number 5. Yadrachaya cha devarshir bhagavam statra kaurava apashyanarado devo kshibanu samadhutyate. O Maharaj Parikshit, by some auspicious opportunity for the two boys, the great saint Devrishi Narad once appeared there by chance. Seeing them intoxicated with rolling eyes, he could understand their situation. Purport. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kaye, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoye. Chaitanya Chaitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 22, verse 54. Wherever Narad Muni goes, any moment at which he appears is understood to be extremely auspicious. It is also said, Brahmana Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems, and some are going down to the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. Chaitanya Chaitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 19, verse 151. Narad appeared in the garden to give the two sons of Kuver the seed of devotional service, even though they were intoxicated. Saintly persons know how to bestow mercy upon the fallen souls. So nice. So yesterday we were reading about Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. Sukhdev Goswami starts to answer to the query of Parikshit Maharaj that what did they do? What vigaritam karma did they do? What abominable activity did they do that incited Narad Muni to give them a curse? So Sukhdev Goswami started to talk that they were the associates of Lord Shiva. They were actually personal assistants of Lord Shiva. They were sons of Kuver. That is why they were very proud of their bodily features and their position. And being an associate of Lord Shiva, they were roaming around in Kailash freely. No one has access there, but they had. And they actually were in the Mandakini river with young girls, and they were drinking. What were they drinking?
Varuni.
What were they drinking?
Varuni.
Aruni.
Varuni.
Varuni Madira. Varuni Madira. Kailash doesn't have Varuni Madira, but they brought it from other place. They brought it, and they were singing, and the girls were singing behind them. So this is the offense. And then what happened? That waters and we also studied that it was a very beautiful garden, but they did not take into consideration the beauty of the garden or beauty of the flowers in conjunction with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what were they doing? They were in waters of Mandakini Ganges, and it was crowded by gardens of lotus flowers. And they were enjoying with young girls. How were they enjoying? As a mad elephant enjoys in water with female elephants. The mad elephant, it says, two male elephants. I'm sorry, two male elephants. The elephant doesn't know whether what action they're doing is right or wrong, right? They just want to be elephant. So the comparison is given to the elephant because they were strong and because they were not behaving like a human being. So no human being is taken, or no devata is taken as a comparison by Vyasdev, but in fact they're compared to an animal, and that too elephant, because elephant is one of the animals, I guess, which enjoys in water with the female elephants. I guess the other animals don't go as much. And then what happened when they were enjoying, and their eyes were intoxicated and the eyes were rolling, right? This is what we read. They were completely intoxicated. And Narad Muni by chance appeared, by some auspicious arrangement appeared there. Narad Muni has no desire to go and look at anybody's sinful activity. But it was Krishna's arrangement that he appeared there. And as soon as he appeared, then we should understand that the environment has become auspicious. Narad Muni looked at the two boys, Nalakuvira and Manigriva, and they were so intoxicated that they did not even know that Narad Muni is there, and they failed to pay obeisances to Narad Muni. And Narad Muni took a pity. He could understand. See, nowhere it is written that Narad Muni was angry, but he could understand. If somebody is angry, they usually don't understand, but Sama Buddhayata, he could understand their position, that they are under the effect of intoxication of not only Varuni Madira, but also under the intoxication of pride of being the children of a very rich person. Okay, so pride. I think the discussion on pride is coming very soon. And that is one lesson to be learned, that this is not just Nalakuvera and Manigriva which is intoxicated, but anybody who has riches can be intoxicated and can behave like this elephant, neglecting the service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whoever has riches and they're not using it on the service of Krishna, then the three things become very easily accessible to them. What are they? Wine, woman, and illicit relationships. Or meat eating, wine, woman, and meat eating. So these are the three things which a very rich person, extremely opulent person, the opulence is given by Krishna, but if it is not used for Krishna, it incites the pride, and the pride which is originating from the riches further leads to the activities concerning wine, women, and meat eating. This is written, it will come, as we already saw women, we already saw wine. I don't think they will eat meat because Narad Muni has appeared. If Narad Muni didn't appear, I guess they'll eat that too. Nowhere, if Narad Muni appears, lava matra sadhu sankha. So lava is a fraction of a time which is even less than milliseconds. This lava, third canto Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a description of time. So if you read the lava fraction of time according to Srimad Bhagavatam, it is, I don't remember the exact one, how much tenth or of a fraction of a millisecond, but it is even that much of. 1 second is, if you say Hari Bol 1, that's 1 second. So even less than that, if somebody is able to associate with a pure devotee or sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoye, one can get complete siddhi or
spiritual
perfection.
Freedom. Yeah.
So perfection of life, and perfection of life is to become Krishna conscious. Okay, and they were very, very fortunate that Narad Muni came, but they were not able to understand their fortune. So likewise, we might have association of devotees, but if we are so intoxicated, we are not able to understand our fortune. Right? The devotees go house to house. With so much endeavor is taken to preach. So many programs, so much brain taxation is spent, so many temples are constructed. But people actually somewhere know that this is good for me. Krishna consciousness is good for me. Yes, do you have that heart to heart feeling in your bottom of the heart? You don't have
Yes,
to
Krishna.
resonate with my request, but if you don't have it, you don't have it. But do you have it? Do you feel in your heart that this is good for me?
Yes,
Something which
yes,
is
yes,
good.
yes, yes.
Definitely.
Of course.
So you see, we have a place of knowing.
That's
We
all.
all have a place. I'm sorry, somebody was saying something. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, that is also a wish of Krishna. You for having that sentiments and sensations. So only Krishna can allow it.
Okay, very nice. Thank you. So see, so it is so we have a place of knowing, and that place of knowing is coming from the super soul. But a person who is very covered by the material modes of nature, very covered by passion and ignorance, covered. Like we have an example in Chaitanya Chaitamrita and Nectar of Devotion of a Mrigari hunter, right? Hunter Mrigari, who didn't know that half killing animals is sinful. Narad Muni came there also. And Narad Muni said, if you have to kill them, then kill them complete. Why are you half killing them and letting them suffer in pain so much? And he said, I didn't know. I thought this is the way to kill. So people who are covered with passion and ignorance don't even have, they can't hear, we're completely deaf to that place of knowing that what's good for me. But in general, a common person has a place of knowing that Krishna consciousness is good for me. But because of this intoxication of Varuni Madira and pride and young girls and singing, and the girls were singing behind them, it created this environment that of passion and ignorance, mostly ignorance, that they can't hear, they can't see. And it is said that if a sannyasi comes in front of us and we don't rise to pay our obeisances, then our life fare rises. And if we don't catch our life fare by rising our body, then our lifespan is reduced. So it's an offense not to pay obeisances to a senior devotee or sannyasi or Uttamadhikari. It is an offense. So if we have to pay, otherwise our lifespan will reduce. And if we want to challenge that, okay, go ahead, challenge that. But if you don't want to challenge that, Prabhupada has already given his verdict in today's verse we studied. That, what is the last time? The best course is to surrender. Just surrender. Okay, and then Devrishi Narad is not angry. So tomorrow we will read that what happened to him. And then what was happening to the girls. And did Narad Muni see the girls or no? So you see, the pure devotees don't look everywhere because they are completely controlling where their vision is going, where they're smelling, what they're eating, what they're hearing, what they're talking, how are they using their working senses. They're completely controlling it. So they did not see the girls. He did not see the girls, but his eyes fell on these boys, and he felt very pity for them. Okay, any questions, reflections, realizations? So Krishna, when he saw Arjuna trees, is able to think all this pastime. Nothing in the chat. No questions, reflections, realizations.
Yes.
Vasan Prabhu, maybe
Yeah,
you want to take
Mataji,
a question.
I have two.
1 second, she wants to say something. Do you want to take your question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I just want to say two things. Here, when Narada was looking at these boys, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, both of them were stark naked. They didn't cover their body. And
That
so
will
also,
come.
yeah.
Yes.
And so also the girls associated with them. But in the case of the girls, the moment they saw Narada Muni, they covered their body. Whereas these boys, they refused for no reason. Maybe because they were bewildered by the richness or under great intoxication. And that angered Narada Muni, the sage, because in spite of their high birth, they are not refined. They behave like animals. And that is the reason he wanted to punish them. He wanted to punish them in such a way that they would realize their mistake. That is significant here as far as Narada Muni is concerned. He didn't want to punish them in the usual way. He wanted to punish them so that they realize their mistake and seek pardon. and attain Krishna consciousness. That is the purpose of it. And here, Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, 27 verse. Prakriteha kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvasah ahankara vimudatma kattahi iti madhyate. Ahankara vimudatma. These are vimudatmas.
We are all Vimudatma.
Yes.
Muda,
Yeah, because they are mudas and vimuda, because it's a cloud of ignorance from which is refusing to be removed. So unless you make an attempt, it remains there. And as long as it remains, you are absolutely ignorant and you will never reach the higher plane of consciousness.
Thank you, Pasanji.
Thank you.
Yes, Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji,
Hi,
my question is from yesterday's class. You were telling some mantra, Ganga cha, Yamuna cha. What's that? Can you complete that? Anandi Mataji was saying. Yes, Mataji
Gange
was
cha
saying.
jamina chaiva.
Where is that, Mataji?
Oh my God, why am I? Gange cha jamina chaiva. Godavari Saraswati. Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. Chale asmin sanidhim kuru.
Mataji, can you please share that to me?
Mataji, I have to. I learned it from Pujari room in Gita Nagari. We have to purify the water for bathing Damodar. So we have to do. There is a Gange. You can Google it. I think Gange cha jamina chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jale asmin sanidhim kuru.
Mataji, what I have to type for this mantra?
Jamina chaiva. Okay, otherwise tomorrow if I have time in the beginning of the class, I'll post it in the chat. Okay.
That would be great, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, reflections, realizations? Or
that mantra is while taking bath, we have to read it. They are all sacred rivers.
no, when we give bath to the deities in the temple, when we are preparing the paraphernalia to take in the altar, we take water, we put rose water in the water, and we put flower petals in the water. We do the Achman, and then we chant
take
this.
bath also, we can.
Yeah, take bath also. You are
because we are not
the rivers into
Yes,
the bucket
Mataji.
or whatever you are.
Every day you can while taking bath.
Okay.
The water which you
Mother
are
Nadi,
taking
anyone has
bath,
any questions, reflections, or realizations from today's class?
Mataji, what is the difference between Yamalarjuna and Arjuna? Yamalarjuna tree is only.
I don't know, maybe there's a different type of genus. Species is the same. But I don't know, Mataji. I'll have to
In
look
some
up.
context, they give it as Krishna went through the Yamalarjuna, so the two trees fell down. In some this thing, they say on just Arjuna trees.
So that's what I'm saying. So let's say you say rose plant, right? Rose tree. So, but then what rose tree? Red rose, yellow rose, pink rose, what rose? White rose, right? So like that Arjun tree could be one thing, but then what kind of Arjun tree? Maybe Yamula is a subtype of Arjun trees, but I have to double check. I don't know the answer. Thank you. Okay, somebody posted it. If Ayushi Mataji is still here.
Yes, Mataji, I will see to it.
So
I did not got Mataji.
Godavari Saraswati. Here, this is a nice mantra. You can copy it from there on chat.
Thank you, Mataji.
No, thank who did it? Vilas Bispute Prabhu and Dinesh Bhatt Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dinesh Bhatt Prabhuji, Vilas Bispute Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, everyone. Mancha Kalpatarobhyascha. Oh, I made it. Mancha Kalpatarobhyascha. Kripasinjavya evacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo. Vaishnavyo namo namaha. Vaishnava Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Devotees at the temple, thank you. Hare Krishna.